While discussing how she got her first big break as an actress, Meghan Markle once casually referred to herself as a fraud, not behind closed doors or off the record, but in a happy camera-ready moment. She laughed as she described lying about being a member of the Actors Union in order to land a role, which she acknowledged technically forced the casting team to. It was supposed to be a quirky story, but let's be honest, that clip struck a different chord because it wasn't just about landing a role. It was a tiny window into how Meghan plays the game with charm, calculation, and zero. She referred to herself as the Mike Ross of auditioning, a reference to the TV character who also faked his way into credibility. This woman has made a career out of playing people, and now she is lying about a SAG card. This isn't the crime of the century, but if you zoom out and connect the dots from her acting days to her royal era, a pattern emerges, which is why people are heated. She hesitated to break the rules, but that small window has now blown wide open due to a wave of receipts, rumors, and revelations that all point to one unsettling conclusion: about a single lie. This is about a manipulative trail that has been covered in soft focus interviews and fairy lights. They've been utterly unsuccessful at everything, so it appears to me that they're turning into a parody of the royal Kardashians' famed lawsuit over the Finding Freedom biography. The charm offensive only works until people start paying attention. Meghan informed the judge that she didn't work with the authors under oath with a straight face, but after the email leak came to light, it was revealed that she had actually contributed to writing important parts of the story. The judge described it as a very regrettable memory lapse, while others called it what appeared to be perjury. Despite this, she avoided responsibility and faced no repercussions. It was just another story that subtly faded as Meghan moved on to the next chapter, and that's the true problem. For years, she continues to move quickly enough to avoid the reality. The public's perception is beginning to change, and not just tabloid columnists or royal insiders, but ordinary viewers are beginning to see the flaws. Media outlets were careful about being called racist or misogynistic. The videos that went viral, the inconsistencies and tone-deaf moments bring to mind the moon bump hypotheses, which asserted Meghan Markle used prosthetics during her pregnancies, but the mainstream media rejected them as conspiracy nonsense. To be fair, that's a crazy claim, but even the Daily Mail recently admitted that Meghan has a serious communication problem, which is a polite way of saying that when someone's personal story keeps changing and reshaping itself based on the audience, trust quickly erodes. The wedding video is available. Fans claimed that a now viral video of Meghan bowing her head to Princess Charlotte was a sweet, respectful moment, but critics saw something else, a cold, sizing-up glance that seemed anything but maternal. Whether you believe it or not, this only strengthened the argument that Meghan's outward smiles were a cover for something much darker and unsettling behind the scenes. Los and pretties, this isn't just entertainment, there's a certain smugness to it. There are children involved, Archie and Lily, who may one day find all of this online and wonder which version of their mother, the one that tells stories of strength, privacy, and empowerment, or the one that's been shown in courtroom leaks and videos where she's caught rewriting the truth, is real. Meghan seems to carry herself as though she is aware that she is playing a game that most people aren't even aware exists, which may be why she has managed to get through scandals, lies, and contradictions with little harm. Despite all the controversy, she hasn't been named in any official capacity, and the institutions surrounding her, including the press and the palace, always stop short, as if everyone is scared to go there, even when YouTubers like P. Diner have been raising the alarm for years, breaking down every interview, public appearance, and contradiction. They're not just venting, though, they're supporting their claims with timelines, quotes, and clips that present a completely different picture of Meghan than the one her PR team promotes. One quote at a time, they've helped thousands of people. People see through the glitz and get to the heart of what's actually happening, and it's not pretty. Meghan isn't just twisting the facts, she's creating a whole persona around them, and when reality inevitably catches up, she uses victimization to change the story. It's a pattern where she doesn't respond to criticism, but instead rebrands it. They're attacking me because I'm a woman of color, and she claims they're coming. Her infamous claim that someone in the royal family expressed concerns about Archie's skin tone was a shock to the monarchy and caused international outrage. But when Prince Harry was asked to clarify, he said it wasn't racism. This is important to me because I speak my truth, but it varies depending on where she is standing and who she is speaking to. Unconscious prejudice, whether it's racism or poor wording, Meghan doesn't appear to care that the harm was done. The insinuation persisted, and she went on as usual before coming let's face it, Harry's book didn't read like his voice. Rather, Meghan's fingerprints were all over it, both in the tone and the way some of the anecdotes were framed. Harry, one particular instance stood out. acknowledged using abusive language with Meghan following a disagreement, to which she replied, "Our marriage is over if you ever speak to me like that again." The arrangement of that statement, as well as the content, made it seem as though Harry had unintentionally written his own obituary for the divorce court. It was like a trap wrapped in vulnerability, and people began to ask, why would you put that? Why would you publish something in print that depicts you as the antagonist in your own narrative? And influence, the kind of influence that is subtle yet quiet and powerful, was the only response that made sense. As all of this is being played out in headlines, TikToks, and YouTube, Meghan appears to be skilled at using the kind of influence that doesn't require shouting, since it is already under control. Malfunctions as Meghan plots her next move. Harry appears to be trapped in a maze where every path leads to her version of events. This may be the saddest part of all, because Harry is slowly unraveling and appears exhausted and alone. He is no longer the self-assured prince who once laughed with soldiers and avoided the press with cheeky grins. More difficult every day. Harry may not be aware of it yet, but he stands to lose the most. Meghan's strategy has always been to control the narrative, and when the inevitable post-divorce book comes out, it will be written like a carefully planned battle plan, intensely emotional, and brimming with selective truth. The palace will be portrayed as being cold, Catherine will be aloof, Camilla will be cunning, and Harry will be perplexed, distressed, and emotionally unavailable. It's already set up. What makes this dangerous isn't just the content, but also how convincingly she can portray it. In today's media landscape, a few well-placed details, a tone, and a lengthy list of how it made her feel are all that are needed to sell anything, and if she has already done it on Oprah, on Netflix, or in a podcast, she can do it again. With more venom and fewer restrictions, Harry will be the victim in both public and in private spheres. He sacrificed his nation, his titles, and his reputation for someone who has demonstrated that she is willing to twist the truth when it fits her. If he attempts to regain any of that, he will appear to be a traitor to her story, and the walls are closing in and are composed of his own words. What's worse is that while the palace watches from behind lace curtains, William is obviously ready to draw a line in the sand, but he has a king above him who still views family as sacred, even when that family is burning down the house. In this case, silence reads as weakness. The royal family remains silent, trapped in their never complain, never explain bubble. There is still time, but if William wants to lead with strength, he must change the monarchy's tone now, not in 10 years. This entails removing the titles and publicly refuting myths, as well as reminding everyone that being born into royalty does not give you permission to abuse it like a Netflix series. The longer they wait, the more Meghan gains, and she is not merely playing. She is playing to rewrite in order to win. Perhaps the worst aspect is that, despite not choosing any of this, Archie and Liette are now embroiled in a PR maelstrom that is more intense than their young life can manage due to the moon bump beliefs. What happens when the fairy tale version they grew up with collides with the secret birth details, and the questions no one dares ask on record will finally be handed to them straight by the internet? When that reckoning comes, Harry will be at the center of it, not as the villain or even the victim, but as the man who allowed it to happen, who watched it all unfold and remained silent, the man who didn't protect his legacy, his truth, or his children from the storm that was brewing around them. Meghan may be able to fool the press with the darker theories circulating online, but she won't be able to fool her own children forever, because he might not have one left after Meghan finishes telling her story. Every game comes to an end, every mask falls off, and every lie eventually hits a wall that Meghan can't get past. For Harry, that wall will be built out of regret, and for the rest of us, it's just a waiting game to see who wakes up.